Welcome back, everyone. This is the seventh video in the COVID series, and today I will be going over some basic problem-solving tips because since school's out and it's the summer, there's not a lot of content stuff that I can go through. So I'll be getting a little bit broader. So you can use this any class at any level. These are just some common problem-solving tips to help you out. So some basics, you can always reread the question. This is a lot of like multiple choice. We've all been in that situation where you do the whole problem and you get your final answer, and you go and you look at A, B, C, or D, and you're going to select your answer, and you don't see the number that you got there. And of course, we all go and pick the closest one that we got. Um, but sometimes it helps to reread the question. And sometimes when you reread your question, you'll find a little detail that you didn't see before, and then you can redo your process and get the correct answer. You can eliminate the obvious wrong answers. For the ACT, this one is big. There's a lot. The ACT will try to throw a ton of answers at you, and if you can eliminate the ones that are obviously incorrect, that's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it's going to help you get a really good score on the ACT. This was one of the ones that I used in order to take my ACT. So you can also come back to the question later, and the answer may be in a different question. For example, in my history class this past year, we were talking about the American Revolution, and on the test day, my second question was, who famously rode by horseback to Lexington proclaiming that the British were coming? It totally blanked. I did not remember who did it. And I remember it was I was like, some dude, I don't know, he's pretty famous. So I skipped the question. I was going to come back to it later. Well, then later on in the test, one of the questions was, after Paul Revere rode into Lexington proclaiming that the British were coming, how did the colonists prepare? And I was like, oh, bingo. There's my answer. It was Paul Revere. Got it. So sometimes the answer can mean a different question later on the test. So if you don't know one, just come back to it later. So now I'm going to get into specific methods for the bigger problems. So this one has helped me a ton in calculus when we're doing, an equation that's, 13 or 14 steps, and you finally get your answer and it's wrong, and you have to go back through and figure out where you messed up. This is the one that you used. It was developed by computer programmers when they were writing lines of code. And what you do is you explain every single step of your thought process to another person or something around you, and while explaining, you'll come across your mistake because when heard out loud, your brain will recognize it. This is why it's called the rubber ducky method. The programmers would keep a little rubber ducky right by their computer, and if they messed up, they would explain every single thing of them that they were doing to the rubber ducky, and eventually you'd say out loud and be like, wait a minute, that's not right, and they'll fix it, and then you will be successful. So this is the rubber ducky method. You can also do a reverse engineer, which is essentially working backwards. So you start with your desired outcome and simply work backwards. So sometimes solving the problem in the forward direction is literally impossible, besides just guess and check, but that's not an efficient or effective way to solve problems. So if you find yourself in a situation, use this method. Some examples are math problems about spending money. So, for example, you can say, I spent half of my money and then $5 more, and then half of what I had left and then $4 more, and then half of what I had left and then $3 more. And then I ended with $5. How much money did I start with? That's a problem where, okay, I'm starting with my final result, and then you have to work backwards to get how much you started with. So this is one of those where you would have to use the reverse engineer or work backwards. And then finally, take a break. Sometimes if you're so focused on a problem, your brain will literally focus on what's called the problem area. And psychologists have studied this, and they say that taking a break will give you a new perspective when you come back. And chances are, the new perspective will lead you straight to your solution. So sometimes taking a break is actually the best way to solve a problem. Instead of working, just take a 10, 15-minute break, go walk outside, I don't know, scratch your dog, do something else just for a little bit, and then come back to your problem. And chances are you'll get to the solution super, super fast because you'll think of new ideas now that you've been away. And that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching. And I'll try to keep making these videos throughout the summer. Again, if you have any specific problem or content that you want me to go through, please just leave it in the comments. I'm super bored, as I'm sure we all are. And I'll be sure to cover it. So thank you for watching, and adios.